China is threatening war in the Indo-Pacific, but confronting it are India's Brahmos missiles. Satellite images reveal an under-construction Brahmos missile base that Manila is building facing the volatile South China Sea and the Chinese Navy. Xi Jinping says the West is forcing him to invade Taiwan, while Chinese Navy is increasing its aggression and having near-daily physical altercations with the Philippines Coast Guard. China claims 90% of the resource-rich South China Sea and rubbishes claims by all of its smaller neighbors. But now it will have to think twice, as the lethal Brahmos missiles from India are being deployed by the Philippines. Traveling at nearly Mach 3 with a range of 250+ kilometers, these Indian-made missiles can cover all of Philippines' exclusive economic zone, threatening to send any Chinese warship to the bottom of the sea. China aims to gain access to over $3 trillion in trade flows each year via the South China Sea. The region consists of 11 billion barrels of untapped oil and 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. As a result, Beijing has sharply ratcheted up its harassment of other Southeast Asian nations. The long-standing dispute between China and the Philippines over territorial maritime claims and maritime rights has recently even come to blows. Despite China's aggression, the Philippines does not seem to be backing down, and Beijing's plan of suppressing ASEAN nations seems to be falling flat. The Philippines is finally putting India's supersonic Brahmos missiles to good use. Naval News revealed the first Brahmos anti-ship missile battery or base which is being constructed in the Philippines, facing the disputed South China Sea. The excavation for the base had already started in Zambales after Manila procured the Brahmos missiles from New Delhi delivered by the Indian Air Force earlier this year. The base consists of protected magazine bunker to store missiles and a high bay facility, supporting system and testing and maintenance facilities, all of which resemble Brahmos missiles facilities built by the Indian Armed Forces in India. India's motivation behind exporting the Brahmos anti-ship supersonic cruise missiles to the Philippines was strategic. The missile will be deployed by the Filipino Navy just 250 kilometers away from the Scarborough Shoal, a resource-rich disputed region which the Chinese encircle almost every day. This will give India an edge over monitoring invasive activities by China in the Indian Ocean as well. At the same time, help Manila beef up its defenses against Beijing. India's indigenously procured Brahmos can be a game-changer in the Indo-Pacific region, suffering from Chinese aggression and encroachments. According to internal simulations conducted by the Indian military, a salvo of just 3 Brahmos missiles can hit and sink a Chinese aircraft carrier. The Filipino government's formal announcement regarding the stationing of the Brahmos missiles will likely raise stakes in a region that remains engulfed in regular confrontations. But are these moves enough to stop Chinese heightened belligerence? China has gone ahead to unilaterally impose new maritime rules to gain extended control over the South China Sea and West Philippine Sea region. Beijing on the 15th of June gave sweeping powers to its Coast Guard to arrest any foreign trespassing or suspected of violating management of border entry and exit in the contested South China Sea region. China has said it will take resolute countermeasures against dangerous behavior. Now, if this wasn't enough, Chinese Coast Guard and boats have been given a free pass to patrol the waters it claims as its own. Chinese Navy then attacked the Philippine Coast Guard with sticks and axes. The CCP claims the rough measures came in response to Philippine Coast Guard dispatching boats on the 14th of June to land on the islets of Sabina Shoal. To this, Filipino President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. hit back at Chinese unilateral actions, accusing CCP of an escalation of this situation. The Philippines Department of Foreign Affairs announced that it submitted to the United Nations in New York filings its own maritime entitlement under the UN maritime rules, to which it calls the West Philippine Sea. The recent flare-ups between Philippines and China and Philippines' decision of deploying the Brahmos have been mainly over 2 disputed areas, the Scarborough Shoal and the Spratly Islands. These areas have come on the radar of the PLA, who's widening its military posture to include areas that lie even in the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. China uses the imaginary 9-dashed line to assert its control on the Scarborough Shoal, a prime fishing and resource-rich patch used by several countries as well as the second Thomas Shoal. Though imaginary Chinese claims have been rubbished by an international tribunal, China rejects such rulings, thus undermining the rules-based international order currently in place. Does this mean that larger Chinese confrontation with the Philippines is also impossible to contain? And what else is adding to the tensions in the South China Sea? Apart from seeking detentions of foreigners in this region, the PLA also recently deployed 3 of China's most advanced Type 055 destroyers in this region for military drills. China's Southern Theater Command conducted military exercises focused on maritime assault, anti-submarine operations and single-ship air defense on the 13th of June. China's game plan consists of an overarching strategy to expand influence across land, seas and oceans, challenging the region's freedom. This is known as the Blue Dragon strategy. It includes China's land grab activities, building artificial small islands and infrastructure, including coastal radars and missile bases. So will the Southeast Asian nations, combined with the support of the Quad, be able to counter Chinese expansionist ambitions? Leave a comment, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.